King Rinchen Khan, also known as Oljai II, was a Mongol ruler of the Ilkhanate, a part of the Mongol Empire, in the 14th century. He is known for several achievements. 1. Cultural patronage. Rinchen Khan was a supporter of the arts, culture, and scholarship. 1. He promoted the translation of literary works into Persian and supported Persian art forms. 2. Religious tolerance. He was known for his religious tolerance and policies that allowed for the coexistence of different religious groups within his realm, including Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, and Jews. 3. Infrastructure development. Rinchen Khan invested in various infrastructure projects, including the construction of mosques, caravanserais, and public works, which contributed to the development of cities and trade routes within the Ilkhanate. 4. Coinage reforms. He implemented coinage reforms to stabilize the economy, including the introduction of new types of coins. 5. Alliance with Mamluks. Rinchen Khan formed an alliance with the Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt and Syria against the common enemy, the Golden Horde. 5. This diplomatic move had significant implications for the geopolitics of the time. 6. Attempted reforms. Rinchen Khan attempted to centralize power and reduce the influence of the Mongol military aristocracy, which led to internal struggles and resistance to his policies. 7. Efforts to strengthen the Ilkhanate. He aimed to stabilize and strengthen the Ilkhanate, which was facing internal conflicts and external pressures, including threats from the Golden Horde and the Timurid Empire. Rinchen Khan's reign was marked by a combination of cultural advancements, economic reforms, and attempts to navigate complex geopolitical challenges. King Sangpa Gyore, also known as Sangpa Gyore Yeshe Dorje, was the founder of the Sangpa dynasty in Tibet in the 16th century. He is best known for his achievements related to the establishment of the Phagma Drupa dynasty. Some of his accomplishments include: 1. Foundation of the Sangpa dynasty. Sangpa Gyore played a key role in founding the Sangpa dynasty, which ruled over portions of Tibet for several generations. 1. His leadership marked a significant political change in the region. 2. Promotion of the Drugpa Kagyu school. Sangpa Gyore was a practitioner of the Drugpa Kagyu school of Tibetan Buddhism. 2. He supported and promoted this school, which later became one of the major Kagyu lineages in Tibet. 3. Monastic and cultural development. Under his rule, Sangpa Gyore supported the establishment and development of monasteries and religious institutions. 3. This contributed to the growth of Tibetan Buddhism and its cultural influence. 4. Defiance of the Central Tibetan Authority. Sangpa Gyere's rise to power challenged the authority of the Central Tibetan government based in Lhasa. 4. This led to periods of conflict and tension between his dynasty and the central government. 5. Ties with Bhutan. Sangpa Gyore established close ties with Bhutan, and his dynasty maintained connections with Bhutanese rulers over the years. 6. Legacy in Tibetan history. The Sangpa dynasty's legacy continued beyond Sangpa Gyere's reign, with his descendants playing significant roles in the political landscape of Tibet. While his achievements are notable, it's important to consider that historical perspectives can vary, and the portrayal of historical figures may differ in different sources and accounts. The fifth Dalai Lama, Nawang Lobsang Gyatso, became the de facto ruler of Tibet through a combination of political maneuvering, religious influence, and external support. Here's a summary of how he ascended to power. 1. Recognition and support. Nawang Lobsang Gyatso was recognized as the reincarnation of the fourth Dalai Lama at a young age. 1. His identification and recognition were supported by prominent Tibetan and Mongol officials. 2. Mongol support. The Dalai Lama's rise to power was facilitated by the military and political support of the Mongol leader Gushi Khan, who belonged to the Koshit Mongol tribe. 2. Gushi Khan's forces were instrumental in helping Nawang Lobsang Gyatso establish his authority in Tibet. 3. Defeat of rival factions. The fifth Dalai Lama's rule came at a time when Tibet was divided into several power factions. 3. With the help of Gushi Khan's military forces, the Dalai Lama was able to defeat rival factions and consolidate his control over central Tibet. 4. Unification of Tibet. The fifth Dalai Lama played a key role in unifying various regions of Tibet under his leadership. 4. With Gushi Khan's support, he was able to establish a centralized authority that extended over a larger portion of Tibet. 5. Establishment of the Ganden Phodrang government. The fifth Dalai Lama established the Ganden Phodrang government, which served as the political and administrative center of Tibet. 5. This governmental structure helped him maintain control and manage the affairs of the region. 6. Recognition by the Qing dynasty. The fifth Dalai Lama sought recognition and support from the Qing dynasty of China. 7. Construction of the Potala Palace. During his reign, the fifth Dalai Lama initiated the construction of the Potala Palace in Lhasa. 7. This grand palace served as a symbol of his authority and continues to be an iconic landmark of Tibet. The ascent of the fifth Dalai Lama to power marked a significant period in Tibetan history, as his leadership and influence helped shape the political and cultural landscape of the region for generations to come. The fifth Dalai Lama, Nawang Lobsang Gyatso, is known for several significant achievements during his reign. 1. Unification of Tibet. The fifth Dalai Lama played a crucial role in unifying Tibet politically and spiritually. 1. He helped bring together various regions and factions under his leadership, contributing to the stability of the country. 2. Establishment of the Ganden Phodrang government. He established the Ganden Phodrang government, which centralized political and administrative power in Tibet. 2. This governmental structure continued to shape Tibetan political life for centuries. 3. Construction of the Potala Palace. He initiated the construction of the iconic Potala Palace in Lhasa, which became the primary residence of the Dalai Lamas. 3. The palace stands as a symbol of Tibetan culture, architecture, and spiritual leadership. 4. Promotion of Buddhism. The fifth Dalai Lama was a prominent Buddhist scholar and practitioner. 4. He played a key role in promoting Tibetan Buddhism and preserving its teachings, both within Tibet and beyond its borders. 5. Relations with China. The fifth Dalai Lama maintained diplomatic relations with the Qing dynasty of China. 6. Cultural patronage. He supported the development of Tibetan art, culture, and literature. 6. His patronage contributed to the flourishing of Tibetan artistic and intellectual traditions. 7. Tolerance and inclusivity. The fifth Dalai Lama was known for his inclusive approach to religious diversity. 7. He respected and supported various religious traditions within Tibet, including Bon and others. 8. Legacy as a great leader. His reign marked a period of relative stability, spiritual growth, and cultural development in Tibet. 8. He is remembered as one of the most influential and accomplished Dalai Lamas in Tibetan history. The achievements of the fifth Dalai Lama have left a lasting impact on Tibetan society, culture, and Buddhism, shaping the course of Tibetan history for generations to come. The 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, went into exile in India in 1959 due to a series of events that culminated in a conflict between Tibet and the People's Republic of China. 1. Chinese occupation of Tibet. In 1950, the People's Liberation Army of China entered Tibet, leading to negotiations between Tibetan authorities and the Chinese government. These negotiations resulted in the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, which recognized China's sovereignty over Tibet but also promised the protection of Tibetan culture and religion. 2. Erosion of Tibetan autonomy. Over the years, tensions increased as the Chinese government's actions often contradicted the terms of the agreement, leading to concerns about the preservation of Tibetan culture, religion, and autonomy. 3. Uprising in Lhasa. In 1959, anti-Chinese sentiment escalated in Lhasa, the capital of Tibet. 3. Protests and demonstrations erupted against the Chinese government's actions. 3. The Dalai Lama, concerned about the safety and well-being of his people, sought a peaceful resolution to the situation. 4. Escape to India. As the situation became increasingly precarious, the Dalai Lama, along with a group of officials and followers, decided to escape Tibet and seek asylum in India. 4. They crossed the Himalayas on foot and reached India on March 31, 1959. 5. Exile in India. The Dalai Lama established a government in exile in Dharamshala, India, which has since become the center of Tibetan political and cultural activities outside of Tibet. 5. He continued to advocate for the rights and autonomy of Tibetans and the preservation of Tibetan culture. The Dalai Lama's decision to go into exile was driven by his concern for the well-being of the Tibetan people and the preservation of their culture and religious heritage. His journey to India marked a turning point in the history of Tibet and the global recognition of the Tibetan cause. The 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, is known for numerous accomplishments throughout his life. 1. Promotion of peace and nonviolence. The Dalai Lama is a global advocate for peace, compassion, and nonviolence. 1. He has consistently promoted dialogue and understanding as means to resolve conflicts. 2. Human rights advocacy. He has been a vocal advocate for human rights, including religious freedom, the rights of Tibetans, and the rights of all individuals to live in dignity and freedom. 3. Cultural preservation. The Dalai Lama has worked tirelessly to preserve Tibetan culture, language, and traditions. 3. He has encouraged the preservation of Tibetan art, music, and dance. 4. Environmental conservation. He is an advocate for environmental sustainability and has raised awareness about the importance of taking care of the planet for future generations. 5. Interfaith dialogue. The Dalai Lama has engaged in interfaith dialogues and discussions with leaders of various religious traditions, promoting understanding and harmony among different faiths. 6. Education and literacy. He has emphasized the importance of education and has initiated programs to improve literacy and access to education, particularly for Tibetan children. 7. Spiritual leadership. As a spiritual leader, he has provided teachings and guidance on Buddhist philosophy, meditation, and ethics to his followers around the world. 8. Nobel Peace Prize. In 1989, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his consistent efforts to peacefully resolve the Tibetan conflict and his advocacy for human rights and nonviolence. Nine. Global influence. The Dalai Lama's teachings and messages have reached millions of people worldwide, impacting individuals and communities with his philosophy of kindness, compassion, and altruism. 10. Democratic reforms. While in exile, he initiated democratic reforms in the Tibetan community, including the establishment of a democratic government and the devolution of his political authority. The achievements of the 14th Dalai Lama have left a profound impact on the global stage, inspiring people to work towards a more compassionate and harmonious world.